أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. When we approached the South Africa High Court many years ago, because we wanted to build a mosque in Cape Town, Ahle Sunnat wal Jamaat opposed it and threatened us with all manner of things. And in fact, one thing they said was, we should not be collecting funds to be able to build a mosque because we are kafirs, non-Muslims. And to protect our human rights, we went to court. And initially, the sole purpose of Ahle Sunnat wal Jamaat contesting our claim was that they tried to have it dismissed on procedural grounds. And in some things they succeeded, but a time came when the court said, well, we are going to hear the substantive issue now. There are no more legal niceties or technicalities on which you can challenge this claim. And the Ahle Sunnat wal Jamaat then withdrew. They then withdrew from the case, and on what basis? Well, this is an Islamic issue, and a non-Muslim court does not have any right to decide or hear a case of this nature, case that involves Islamic law. Well, we pointed out that marriage is a case of Islamic law, and in this country people go and register their marriages with the registrar, and divorce is a matter of Islamic law, and succession is a matter of Islamic law. It's a long list that Ahle Sunnat wal Jamaat approach non-Muslim courts. And in fact, the judge who gave the ruling made a very telling comment. He said perhaps a secular independent court is the best forum to decide who's a Muslim and who's not, because if these learned gentlemen were capable of deciding that, there'll be no need for courts like ours, secular courts. But a few days ago, I think it was last week, in the Jung, there was a report, and that Jamia Ghaussia in Luton have held a big meeting. And what was the meeting about? The meeting was held to protest to the government that when matters about Islam, inquiries about Islam are being made, and commissions and committees of inquiries are being set up, Ahmadis are being invited to make submissions to those inquiries. And they are making submissions to those inquiries. And the government should say that Ahmadis are not Muslims and they should not be invited to make submissions to these inquiries. Hang on. Hang on. Didn't you say in South Africa that a non-Muslim government has no right to decide who's a Muslim and who's not a Muslim? That suited you then. And now Sunnis are telling the British government to declare Ahmadis as kafirs. Isn't this a religious matter now? What's happened? The stand you took in South Africa, now you are standing on your head. and saying exactly the opposite thing. Now you're saying the British government, a non-Muslim government, must declare that Ahmadis are non-Muslims and that they should not be invited to make submissions to various committees of inquiry which are looking at various Islamic matters. Why? Why? Is it because you want to silence us? Is it because when you appear before those committees of inquiry, you hide behind Ahmadi beliefs? Is it when Akhwarul Muslimin and Jamaat-e-Islami come to the UK and the British Parliamentary Committee says to them, what should happen in Islam if someone changes his religion from Muslim to something else? And you say, oh, nothing. Is this what you believe? In Pakistan, there are still demands that Ahmadis should be declared apostates and their heads should be cut off. And here before the British Parliament, you say, nothing. It's up to every man to decide what's his religion. But that's a Lahori Ahmadi belief. That is not the Sunni belief. So the only reason I can think of that you want to stop us from being able to make these submissions is that you want to plagiarize our beliefs and our views, because you have nowhere else to go. You have nowhere else to go in the West. Why didn't those learned Sunni people who appeared before the Committee of Inquiry about Sharia courts, why didn't they say that talaq, talaq, talaq is a talaq? An husband can then throw the wife out of the house. Why didn't they say a woman has no right to talaq? Why did they take the stand that Lahori Ahmadis have taken, that there is no such thing as talaq, talaq, talaq? Why have women, Sunni women in India, gone to a Hindu Supreme Court and asked them to declare that talaq, talaq, talaq is un-Islamic? So when it suits you, it's fine to go to a non-Muslim government. Well, this was what Dr. Sir Muhammad Iqbal did. British government shouldn't interfere in matters of Muslims. And then he wrote a letter to the Governor General of India saying, declare that just like Sikhs are a new religion which has come from Hindus, you should declare Ahmadis are a new religion that has come from Islam and is a different and new religion. And when members of the Lahore-Ahmadiyya movement challenged him, what did he say? He said, oh, no, I didn't mean you. I only meant the Qadianis. Okay, we take your statement at face value, but even then, you're asking a non-Muslim government to make a decision about who is a Muslim and who is not a Muslim. Well, this is England. Oh, by the way, they've come up with another suggestions. They said whenever a member of parliament or a mayor or a councillor is invited to an Ahmadi meeting, the first thing they should do is they should stand up and say, we are joining this meeting as not a Muslim, not as a meeting of an Islamic society, but we're joining this meeting as the meeting of a non-Islamic society. Well, gentlemen, I saw the level of your manners and ikhlaq, as it's called in Urdu, when I was in South Africa. And the judge had to threaten you with imprisonment before you would show her due respect, before you would show the court due respect. He had to close and lock the doors of the court, because every time you came late and you created disturbance in the court by talking loudly. And it was only when she threatened to bar you from the courtroom that you started coming on time. It was only when she threatened to put you in prison that you started standing up when the judge came. This is how firm and fixed your beliefs are. You can't bear to spend 2 months in prison for the sake of your beliefs that I will not stand up for a Christian judge. So what more can we expect from you? And why are you so afraid of our views? Why are you so afraid of British parliamentarians hearing us? You think because you've succeeded in silencing us in Pakistan, the same thing will happen in England and America and other countries? We assure you it will not. We assure you we will keep being invited to these committees of inquiry. We assure you we will keep making submissions to them. And we assure you that you will keep hiding behind Lahore-Ahmadiyya views and telling them untruths and saying that what you're telling them is what Sunnis believe. We've already seen this in 2 committees of inquiry, and we will see this in many more committees of inquiry. But we will not stop. We will not stop. Mark my words. We will not stop. I thank everyone for joining our Friday service. And I hope that we will see you next Friday for the second part of this khutbah. In the meantime, I pray that whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever your religion, caste, creed, or color, may Allah keep all of you safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum. Khuda Hafiz. Goodbye.